Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another Ford Harley Davidson edition computer here for the same and dreaded problem of the long crank, no start. And this is a computer coming from Florida. Walker Ellis, this is your computer. He actually saw my video that I repair Albert in Florida as well. I think he's a close neighbor to him. And then he sent the computer right away. All right, so let me just read the note. As I normally do, I have a folder created for the customer. This computer was already repaired by somebody else, so I am very hesitant to work on computers that have been touched by somebody else, but I'm always trying to help the people. So we'll see what is in here. I haven't opened it. I have nothing. I just want to try to duplicate the customer concern to make sure the problem is in the computer. I have his computer here. This is my instrument cluster. I have not made these two, which is not really necessary in order to see RPMs or coil activations. If you have followed my YouTube channel, you will know I have a complete playlist. I put two playlists. One is called the Saga of the Harley Davidson or Lightning, and then the other one is F-150 Lightning with the same problems. All right, so let's read the note. So let me get the folder on the screen. All right, so this is the folder, just very basic so far because I have not started the full test. This is just so you can see the note that he sent. Is a very good explanation in there. And then his computer is a EK02. That is very common on the 2003 Harley Davidson. 2002 is EK01, and the 2003 is usually EK02. All right, this is the note, which I have removed most of his information except for his name. It says, my truck is a 2003 F-150 Harley Davidson. Big number. I had my computer supposedly repaired twice at Car Computers Exchange with no positive results. Yes, I know. They always try. It says, yes, we put this computer in a car and they show you a video of the car running and everything is good. You take it over to your car. Doesn't run. Oh, no. The problem has to be in the car. It's definitely not the computer. No, it is in the computer. And I will prove that here because I already did a pre-test before starting the video and it's not really giving anything. But let's keep reading. To start a truck, you first have to turn on the switch and wait 15 seconds, then turn the key to crank mode for the truck to start. If the truck did not start on this cycle, you then have to turn the switch to start mode and then wait for 30 seconds to turn to crank mode. That means ignition on and wait for 30 seconds and then crank. When the trunk will finally start, there will be a red flashing warning theft light on the dash panel. This light will remain flashing for approximately 30 seconds to 1 minute with the truck running and then go away. I have managed to live with the problem for some months now, but the situation has gotten significantly more difficult over the last couple of weeks. It now takes 4 to 6 attempts to hit the time exactly and resulting in all these extra attempts for the truck to finally start. Wow. It has actually become embarrassing to sit there in someone's driveway and continue trying to start the engine. I look up your video of you repairing a computer for Albert in Florida. I was very hopeful that you could solve my problem with your diagnostic equipment and expertise. And the rest is just notes of his emails and so on, but I removed that part. So again, this is just so you understand what this poor customer has been going through. And this is where I said, if you don't have the knowledge, don't just take any repairs. And the problem with most of these facilities is they don't have a soul like I do. I feel that, and I have returned computers to customers that say, sorry, I cannot reproduce your concern. What am I going to fix? And I have one customer that got mad for that reason. And he left me a bad review. That's the only bad review I have over, 100 and something reviews, which I should have over 1,000 or so reviews, but not everybody leaves reviews. They don't understand how important it is to really help a small business like mine with a small review. And sometimes we share the bad, but not the good. And that is how these other companies that pay for good reviews, which is, yes, they're bigger companies. They have, more investment and probably $1 million are behind, right? and they just, it's volume. They don't care about people, volume and volume and volume and volume. And they prove a video that is running, and you spend months and months trying to correct the problem in a car until finally you give up, and then you just lose the money. And that's the way they play. Now with me, I actually try to reproduce a customer concern, and then I prove with a video that now the computer will run properly. And that's what we will do here, hopefully for him too. All right, Walker, let me put the full probe on the screen. As I normally do, I have already the full probe as my simulator is right here. Let me just get the other view so you understand. This is the simulator, and you will see if I turn this lamp off, if the computer runs, you will see signals in here for A coils. Right now, that signal that is flickering in here, that blue signal in there, is because I had the ignition on the full probe with 400 RPMs and signal 51. That's very specific to this simulator. But if you see here, I got the ignition and the power for the computer in the instrument cluster off. So all is on is this, but not this, because the reason I separate that is to actually be able to do this exactly thing, where I can have the cranking signal ready to go, and then when I turn the power on, it should fire instantly. And that's how I tested and reproduce problems on these clusters or in these computers very, very, very successfully. All right, so let me move you over to the other view, which is for you to see the RPM. I can actually do a zoom. Perfect. So you will be able to see in the small window those lights if it comes on. So I'm going to turn first the battery on, and then the ignition in 1, 2. You can see the cluster is already on. This should already be firing. Let's see if he, as he said, it takes like 15 seconds or so. I already passed the 15 seconds, and there is absolutely nothing in here. Oh, right there. You see the signal right there? That is exactly, and you can see the lights. Let me move the camera over to, oh, not to that one, to here. And you can see on my low boxes, that signal now happening. So yes, this is definitely, we can reproduce exactly as Walker told us. So I'm going to turn this off, keep the signal in there. I have not turned the battery off, just ignition. And let me turn it ignition once more time. 1, 2. Nobody's here. Keep an eye on the cluster. You can see the cluster is there, but there is no RPMs. When the firing happens, if it happens again, we will see RPMs being read by the instrument cluster. There is good communication in between the cluster and the computer, because I can see mileage. The numbers of the 132 to 394, those actually are the mileage of the cluster, not his vehicle. But that means that there is good communication in between the cluster and the computer. Okay, you see now it's running. Look at the RPMs. We have RPMs in the cluster, and we have coil firing. But it took a very long time. And obviously, it's not going to be possible for him to keep doing this or reproduce this, because this is a very controlled environment. So what I have done in here, by having that signal, let me turn all the lights on, like now you can see better. By having the signal ready, it's like me cranking for 15 seconds. Obviously, if you do that in a car, you will burn your starter. In this case, I'm only providing the crankshaft position sensor signal, so the computer thinks it is running. And whatever is heating up in the computer, it takes that 15, 20, 30 seconds, as Walker told us, and that's why it's not starting. I have narrowed this problem like probably 99% of the times to be the analog to digital converter and some other things, and that's why I know I don't show the other things. Why? Because as you can see, there's other companies trying to mimic what I do, and I have been very smart to cover the secret sauce. And they can open the computers that I work on, and they will never find out what I did, because you know what? When I repair a computer, it goes back looking like factory. I don't, my solder is like a machine, and I have all the clear codes that this computer uses, so you will not find out where I was. And that's why I have been very successful, because I don't want nobody else to fix this. I want to be the one to be fixing the computers, because I have taken the time to narrow it down and find out what the problem. Nobody teach me this. I learned it myself. Obviously, the Lord giving me this intelligence and the persistence to do things like this. But this is not I read it in a book and I'm trying to take my, ownership. No, I did this myself. And that's why I protect it very much, because these are good repairs and I want to make sure that it happens in here. But let's stop the talking. Let me open this computer. Hopefully it's not a very destroyed computer, and otherwise either be right back with the computer running, or I will show you some of the process as I go along with the repair. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, guys, I got good news, and the repairs are done, and yep, it is good to go. Another successful repair. The proof is going to be in the pudding, and the pudding tastes good. All right, let me turn this light out, because it's very bright in there for you to see the actual RPM. Just like I said, I just finished the repairs. I'll let in a little bit of that conformal coating to dry it up. But that's for him, that he can see his cover and his page on the back end in there. All right, so I have everything still the same way connected, and I have the same signal ready to be injected. So I'm going to put the battery on, and then the ignition in 1, 2. Ha ha ha, that's like music in my ears. Look at the spark. If the cluster has not finished the actual RPM reading, and it's already having the spark. The reason this is flickering is because the anti-theft is not marriage. So this will be a stay on flashing. Why? Because right now all I have is coils, not injectors, and I don't need to do anything else. This is 100% repair. Like I said, I'm going to just turn the ignition off. I'm going to keep the ignition on, and I'm going to put it back on in 1, 2. It's, you see, I fired the injector for 1 second because it's just happening so quickly. The computer doesn't even understand, but everything is there. Look, RPMs are reading perfectly. Coils are firing every single time. All right, I'm going to kill everything 100%. So I'm going to show you that the signal that I'm using in here, like I said, is signal 51. I can change that now that it's reading good. Let me actually turn the ignition off and off in here. I'm going to move that to signal number 7. And this is a signal that I can put, a little over 1,000 RPMs. And it's going to be the same thing. So 1, 2. You can see how it's, instantly driving that. And I can bring the RPM down to around 700. And we can see how the cluster is reading the RPMs properly. Coils are firing every single time. I'm going to kill the signal once again. This is testing, right? So I'm showing Walker that it will happen every single time. I'm going to move the signal to 51. That is for low RPMs. Based on this software, this company is very lame. They have 2 different signals that I have to use, because that signal 51 will not work for higher RPMs. It only works for low RPMs. So I'm going to turn the ignition in there, put 400 RPMs in here as I was doing. Battery on, ignition in 1, 2, instantly. It's instantly. Not even the software is picking it up. It's actually firing faster than what the software can pick up, but you can see the RPMs and everything in there, not as the way it was. So I'm going to move the image. I'm going to turn all these lights out again, so you guys can see all the ignition is off right now. So I'm going to battery on, you see, 1 switch only, and I'm going to put the ignition in 1, 2. See, the signals are firing first than in the software or the RPMs in the instrument cluster. This computer, like I said, is 100% fixed. It is another successful repair. Like I said, I'm an expert on these computers. Don't waste your time and money. Probably Walker has already damaged the starter circuit, because how many times has he tried to start his vehicle prior to send it to me? not just a normal. I mean, 6 times as you rode with me in the page, 6 times, 8 times. I mean, it's embarrassing and also dangerous for the starter and other circuits, the battery. I mean, everything has been suffering with this repair that company did, because I honestly opened the computer, I didn't see nothing done. But for me, it's in good shape. Now, your Walker, everything is good. Like I said, I'm an expert. If you guys have a computer, don't even think of other companies. I know I'm not big, so I need your help. If you're here in my channel, please subscribe to the channel, like my content, because that helped me so much. I cannot spend the amount of money those billionaires or millionaires are doing because I'm a small business. Otherwise, I would be having another partner, which is I have already taxes to pay, which is a partner, like it or not, that's a lifetime partner we all have here. And then if I do that, I will have a Google, which I'm already spending money, but not the amount of money. They want me to pay $25,000 to keep what they said. Oh, you will bring so much customer. Yeah, I will be a slave for them. Might as well just find another job, right? So with all your help, that will be different. And it's already happening. So please keep subscribing to my channel if you have not. Thank you so much if you do so. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.